Good evening. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. Our guest this evening has been on twice before. It's Lieutenant Colonel Linda Thierauf, and she is the Chief of Third Wing Safety at JBER. And I got to tell you, if you've had the opportunity to watch Linda the past couple of times, she's got so much to offer, and it's a pleasure having her on the program. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
So we talked a little bit about the incredible reduction in the number of Air Force accidents over the years. We're now at Class A accidents about 1 per 100,000 flying hours, which is phenomenal. And you described a little bit of the ideas like analysis, trend analysis. We talked about crew rest, and I really appreciate what you had to say there, the importance of it and how it factors into accidents. Talk about crew resource management and how you do that in the C-17.
Yes, crew resource management is another trend that's come a long way. It's more than used to be, hey, there's on a C-17 crew and basic crew, there are 5, 6 crew members, 3 pilots, 2 loadmasters. And it used to be, hey, there's an aircraft commander, what they say goes. But now we're taking a point where, as a crew though, you have to work as a crew to really accomplish a mission and to do it safely. So the Air Force has really processed how to maybe look at crew resource management, and they've broken it down. So when you're out on a mission, you can look at, hey, are we accomplishing our mission as safely as possible? Are we incorporating all the crew members? A lot of times our loadmasters sit down below with the cargo compartment, but during the critical phases of flight, takeoff, landing, air refueling, they're listening up and listening to the pilots. And a lot of times, you know, you don't think about that aspect, that there's an extra set of ears on there who's listening out to the radios for you. And really bringing the loadmasters into the crew has been one of those parts of crew resource management. Are you really using every last bit of your crew to help you accomplish the mission safely? And also looking at you know, at the end of the mission, you look back, you always want to do better. So you look at your crew and you're like, hey, is there anything we did that maybe we could have done better? Or was there any point during the mission that you weren't on the same page? You felt like, hey, I didn't know what you were doing, which is a big issue, because a lot of times we found through mishap and through trend analysis, when you look back on it, there's one crew member who kind of thought something was off, but didn't speak up. And that's probably, you know, worst case scenario. If there's ever someone who can break that chain before you get to that mishap, you really want to empower that person to speak up. And that's kind of what crew resource management is. Are we really empowering everyone on the crew to speak up to break that safety chain and prevent that next mishap?
So a lot of our audience are folks that are single pilot, either single pilot commercial or single pilot recreational. But you know, I'd like to remind folks that crew resource management actually has a place. If you've got a passenger, you can talk to that passenger about helping you clear for other traffic. In some cases, you can have them even do more than that, read the checklist to you. So there are lessons here, and it doesn't have to be a crew of necessarily rated crew members or 6 of them. So I would encourage the folks in our audience to think about how can you can have somebody on the ground. You could consider them part of your CRM. I will tell you one quick story. I flew fighters for 25 years. In my last couple of years in the Air Force, I flew the King Air, the C-12. So I can't tell you how many times my instructor pilot slapped my hands when I went to change the radio frequency, because I've done that. He said, that's my job.
Yes.
I'll set the IFF. I'll set the radio frequency. Keep your hands off. So
True.
Anyway, I want to ask you one last question. You're obviously a proven leader in the Air Force. You've got a great job. You've had a great career. Talk a little bit about your ideas on leadership. Maybe talk a little bit to the audience out, the young men and women who might have an opportunity to go into the military, to go into the Air Force, possibly even fly.
Yes. Well, I think I've had great leaders, you know, throughout the Air Force. And one of the things is when you really enjoy your craft, and for me it's flying, you know, you really want to eventually get to a place where you can influence where the organization is going. And as leadership, you're organizing or you're influencing the people to get the mission done, but you can also influence where that unit can go as well, And if, as you're coming up through the ranks, one of the great things about leadership is you can start seeing processes that can be improved, or you can maybe see, hey, maybe I can slightly shift where I think this unit or organization can go. And I think that's one of the great things about leadership is having now that influence to not only motivate people to do a mission that you love yourself, but also maybe help that unit become slightly better and maybe shift them to me in probably a better direction or a safer direction or whatever might be needed. And as far as learning to fly, I tell everyone, anyone can learn to fly. Just need a little dedication. And if it's something you want to do, no one really can stop you because you just need a little dedication and anyone can learn to fly. Just like anyone really can join the military. So flying in the military, you just need to have the desire and the dedication.
Well, you certainly have it. And thank you for your service to the country and to the Air Force. And thanks for being on the program. I think what I'm going to do is maybe in 6 months or a year, we'll get you back on.
Sounds great.
Talk a little about what you've been doing.
All right, sounds
Thanks
great.
for being on the program tonight.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Until next time, fly safe.